Hi, Johanna. How are you doing today?
I am good, Tyson. Thank you so much for um, going to listen to me today.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it you'd like to share?
Well, it is about right now I'm in Seattle. I'm in my sister's house, and about a year ago, we were also here because it was her wedding, and all of our family came. My family from Germany came, my brother and my mom, and my family from Georgia came to be with my sister on her wedding day. And so we all came together, and it was planned for a very, very long time because it's her wedding. So we planned it for a few months or a year prior. And so because all of our family is coming together, so I put in an itinerary because also our one of our plan was after the wedding, all of our family is going to from Seattle. We're gonna road trip all the way to California, to San Francisco, and then we are gonna go to Los Angeles, and then we're gonna go to Las Vegas. And so beforehand, I already rented a car so we can all go as a family, and and then um, and so after my sister's wedding, we did that. But before all happened, I when I planned things for our family, I did not know that my brother is going to bring his girlfriend with. So when that happens, when his girlfriend sees, oh, of course, yeah, it was so fun to meet his girlfriend and all that. But his girlfriend had a lot of things that she wanted to see because it was her first year in US too. She's never been to the US, and so she was so excited to go to other places. And so there was not a lot of communication between me and my brother
Mm,
about that. So he just kind of like, okay, you roll with. I thought he's gonna roll with what my plan is for the whole family, because he didn't really have specific um, things, places that he wanted to go at first. So we did that. So we were so excited when we got the car. We all got in there and we had a road trip and all that. But when we went to San Francisco, what happened was he wanted to get up early as possible to meet. We have like a different mentality. My mind was kind of like, I'll take it slow because I have my kids with me, and he's single. He didn't have a family, and he just brought his girlfriend, and he wants to go with so many places. So he wants it fast, fast, fast. Let's go here. He wants to go there. He wants to go here. And so, but we never communicated what we wanted to do. Um, so when I woke up the next day, he was already upset at me because I kind of, you know, like, just take the day slow.
right.
And so he was really upset at me, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And but everything went well with that. And then once we got to Los Angeles, that's when the complication really got worse because we have both have never been to LA, and the traffic in LA is so bad, and we never know that you're gonna get stuck in the traffic for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and the places that I have planned for us and the places that he wants to go um, is just not going to work out. Like he wants to go here and there, and I want to go with what we planned. And so he was again mad at me, and so he was mad at me. But I also got mad. So um, ended up we were just kind of mad at each other, and
Yeah.
then so it was more of like it was not that fun anymore with him being mad at me, and it's more of like, oh, you should have got up early and did this with me, and I was like, I wanted to just relax in this trip. And so there was a lot of things that did not turn out right.
So from what it's sounding like, it's about a year ago. You all went to Seattle, kind of took a road trip down to California after your sister's wedding, and supposed to be kind of like a family quality type deal where you just wanted to take it easy and just really spend some good engaged quality time with the family. And
Yeah.
that's really nice. But it sounds like there was a little bit of a miscommunication, the discrepancy kind of when your brother's girlfriend came on board. And he wanted to go off and kind of do all these things when you had planned this itinerary. And that both made you guys frustrating because you had differences of opinion and different beliefs as to how you all spend it with the family. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want
can imagine
to do
that must
something
be frustrating.
that we planned, and they wanted to go to like Universal Studio, which I didn't want to go because I feel that close to me, in Georgia, there is already the Disney World.
Hmm.
I just feel like I don't want to spend my time there because we only in LA for a day or 2 days. And I just want to go somewhere else around that been there been
Yeah.
yet. But so it was most like he wanted to go here, and then I wanted to go here. And since we were in one car and the traffic, we cannot make it.
Yeah.
And he was from Germany, and there's really, you know, in Germany it's not. I don't. There is no traffic how it is in LA. Like that's their autobahn. Call it autobahn, but in Germany
Okay.
it's super fast. They go fast and not like here. So whenever they go to a certain place, they get into that place. When they go to a place, they get in place. And so I think his mind was somehow it's the same as in Germany. Like he can go to places where he wants to go, but then we both did not foresee that once we get to play, that's just not possible to go to all these places one day.
It sounds like with you living here the majority of the time and him living over there, it's kind of almost like there's like a uh, unequal yoke of being matched with your cultural, like just cultural kind of immersion in these different countries. That's
Right.
interesting that you point that out. Well, one of the biggest things that I hear when we kind of discuss this is I'm wondering if maybe you have a belief about your time wanting to be respected. You know, because with him bringing his girlfriend and wanting to kind of like go off and do these things when you've kind of made these plans and everybody's on board, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like changing. That's not necessarily fair to your time, right?
That is correct. Yes. I feel that he wants me to do things that he wanted me to take them over here and over there, and the traffic in LA is just not possible, and he's getting mad at me. And he was getting frustrated at me because he wants to do these things because his girlfriend again only there for a day or two because she's leaving back to Germany earlier than all of us. So I think that's what he wanted to do. So I got mad because he's mad at me, and I feel like that's not responsibility, or that's not why are you want me to do this and this when I did not. It was just hard for me to it was just hard for me to that he's mad at me. Yeah, he was mad at me, so I got mad at him.
Yeah, yeah. And then it escalates to a situation where it sounds like you both are angry at each other, frustrated, and it just kind of gets to a level that it doesn't need to be, yeah?
Right.
You mentioned something also that was interesting. I almost feel, or I'm sensing this idea of, since your time is not being respected, but you still want to honor your family, which I'm sure is also putting a damper on your mood and wanting you to check out and kind of like really just not be a whole part of this thing anymore, in terms of traveling and really wanting to get in the mindset, even because you have to be in the mindset to spend time with family, right? Sometimes. Right. So it's also sounding like you're taking a lot of responsibility on yourself and being very compromising to the point where it's almost self-sacrificial, a little overly self-sacrificial.
Yeah, you are right about that because they're all not from the U.S. So my mom is from Germany, my brother is from Germany, his girlfriend is from Germany, and they don't know anything really much about how to travel in the U.S., how to do things in here. So they are actually, to me, I have this mentality that they are just how do you say that? They are expecting things to do things for them, um, or to. That's why I did. That's why before everything, all this was up, I already had our itinerary, where to go, and already told them before that this is what we're gonna. But as I said, when we got to California, um, the things that I even said this is what we're gonna do somehow didn't happen because we have never thought about the traffic. We did not add the traffic in there.
Yeah.
We want to go to like 3 different places or 4 different places, but because of traffic, we can probably just go to 2 places.
So if so how important from a scale of 0 to 100 is your belief of needing your time respected?
I'm so sorry. What was the question again?
Oh, from a scale of 0 to 100, how important would you say having your time respected is to you?
I would say about 90%. I was 80 to 90.
Yeah, right.
It
sounds like it's pretty strong for you.
Yeah, it is strong for
like
time. I feel like time is very valuable, and I feel like you know,
it sounds like that's a healthy balance for you.
yeah, I want to have it was just something that just did not work out, and he was not very flexible um about the about how it can be different. It's just not yeah.
In order to kind of rectify some of that miscommunication with your brother in the future, do you think there's anything that you might be able to do on your end? And I understand that it kind of takes two to tango there, you know, it's not necessarily all on him, and it's not necessarily all on you either. It kind of takes two to tango here, but do you think that there could have been a different way you could have responded in order for it not to escalate to such a boiling point?
Yeah. Well, yes. It could have. The reason also why we did not really have a lot of time to talk and we did not communicate very well when we got here is because it was so busy. It was my sister's wedding, so everybody was focused on the wedding, and then right after the wedding, so this is the night of the wedding, I guess, and I guess the following day or day we traveled, so we never really got a chance to sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, as a whole, like including his girlfriend and my family, and we just sit down. But this is what we're gonna do, and any changes there, that you want to add or take out or anything like that. So we never really get a chance to sit down together and talk about it.
Okay. And what do you think you could do if you ever got that chance? What do you think you could do to keep it from escalating to where the miscommunication didn't happen?
I could have, we could have sat down together and talk about it, and we could have reminded. I honestly could have reminded everyone to be more understanding and more. I could have reminded everyone more. If things to be more flexible, because my family is very close in a way that whatever you feel, whatever your thoughts, you just say it out.
Yeah.
You just say things, and
okay.
we get mad at each other, and then we're okay and get mad and okay and get mad. So we're very direct. We're very direct. We're very how do you say? We're very
expressive.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. We're very expressive. So yeah. So if we could have, just a reminder for everyone that just be more with a track that it is more of a quality time and not something that would be like, rush to things, and just, and just to remind everybody that, hey, we can take it slow. This is more of a quality time. Places are just lost.
Really vocalizing that to them, and
Yeah, vocalizing, because sometimes we forget, especially, I guess, especially when there's so many things going on at one time.
absolutely. So one of the things that might service you well is to create an automatic thought record.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what that is what I'll have you do is kind of make columns. And in fact, I'll draw a column here maybe. So you have the event, and then under the event you can write the date and the time and things like that. That best services you as well to kind of like remember when everything happened. But you have the event in one column, like what happened, what occurred, when and where. And then you'll have your thought about it, which was that literal, like when everything's kind of going down, your literal thought that kind of pops into your head at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll write that down in one column.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll write, we'll put reaction or response in one column. And if you feel like your reaction was negative and you feel like it could have been improved upon perhaps, in the next column over, you can write how you would have chosen to respond better. And essentially what an automatic thought record does, well, it helps us do a couple of different things. It helps us to be accountable, to kind of get a sense of ownership over the way that we respond to certain stimuli. We respond to environmental factors, social factors, things like that. It helps us to bring awareness to ourselves more than anything else, to really understand how we respond to things, so that we can be a little bit more, we can gain a sense of insight about ourselves to kind of get some peace. Really the work comes from the inside out, right? And that goes for how we love ourselves, that goes for how we love other people. And it really just brings insight into yourself so that you can allow kind of like a more organic sense of socialization really positively run through you. So that's this is a very rough sketch, but this is kind of, so you have your event here, your thought, what your automatic thought was, and then your reaction and how you could particularly respond differently if your reaction was something that you would like to fix. And that's kind of the key to this whole thing, is do you recognize the behavior? You recognize the aftermath of what your behaviors are doing, either within your life and the lives of the people that are in your life, and do you want to change them? Kind of like live a little bit more, I won't say healthy, because it's not that you're not living a healthy life, but you're just peaceful, it brings a sense of peace and positive attitude to yourself. So I think that will help uplift you if I can offer a little bit of homework. And we can kind of assess that the next time we come back. Are you kind of aligned to doing that?
Sure.
All right. Awesome. Perfect. Well, Johanna, I think that's time, and I hope this session has been as illuminating for you as it has for me, and I really appreciate you being here and being engaged. Otherwise, that's time, and we can move on to the next recording.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just as a side note, Dr. Bauer, that session's concluded. We are having some technical difficulties. Johanna's having to record from her phone, and we were unsure as to whether or not the recording from her phone will actually generate an MP4 in the background of her phone once she closes the app. So we are going to go ahead and kind of transfer over to Johanna being the counselor and kind of going through some of my presenting issues today. So Johanna, whenever you're ready, we can switch over.
Okay. Hi, Tyson. How are you today?
Good, Johanna. How are you?
I am good. Thank you. So how are you? How are you this week?
Wow, this week's been super busy. But also just very just kind of weird. It's been really weird. There's been so much that has gone on that I'm not entirely sure what I should talk about, but I guess I'm going to talk about like what I'm most comfortable with. But in the midst of everything that's kind of gone on this week, you know, I really am. I'm relying a lot on my support circle of friends right now with some extenuating circumstances that have happened. But needless to say, as much as I've been relying on my friends, I did have, for right now, I did have a friend who I got into an argument with. It's one of my close friends, and she actually had to go out this weekend, and I was taking care of her. She's back now. She actually took like a couple days throughout the week, but I had an argument with her, which, to be perfectly honest, with this week and with everything that's happened within the last 2 weeks, that's absolutely the last thing I needed to get into an argument with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really feeling kind of hurt by it, and it just sucks.
Do you want to share with us what happened?
Yeah, so I was basically dog sitting for her, and she left me some pretty good instructions. I mean, I'm a dog person. I own dogs, so it's not really I know what I'm doing, but like the whole argument started because, and it was so stupid and trivial, but the whole argument started because I was walking the dog out in the front yard, and I didn't know any better, and she just kind of like blew up at me and was like, "You should be walking the dog in the backyard. I shouldn't have trusted you. You're irresponsible." And this, and I'm like, for her to go from like 0 to 60, and then for me to be sitting here, obviously in the mood I'm in with everything that's gone on, is just like freaking ridiculous. And I'm just like, look, I took care of your dog. Like, it's been fed, it's been watered, it's been well taken care of, it's been played with. Like, dog's fine. If it goes in the front yard, it goes in the front yard. What the hell's the problem? And and we're getting into this huge argument about this, and like, I don't know. I just feel so shut down, and I don't feel like I'm heard, and I need to be heard. And because she just like went off on me, and so I couldn't really get a word in edgewise. We haven't talked since, and I don't feel like I was heard, and I need to be heard. And I also feel like, or I believe that you shouldn't be so disrespectful. Like, you should be really, I don't know, you just shouldn't be that disrespectful to someone that's trying to do you a favor because they care about you. But I don't know either. I mean, I'm trying to be understanding. I don't know, maybe something got in her bra or somebody peed in her Cheerios. I don't really know what's going on with her, but I mean, that was honestly the last thing I needed. I'm just really bummed about the fact that I had a fight with my best friend.
Yeah. So what happened was you had a fight with your best friend because you were babysitting dog sitting, her dog, and she was upset that the dog. What did you know? Like, what is the specific thing that she's upset about? Do you know?
Well, she didn't leave me clear directions. I mean, she just said take the dog out X amount of times on the sheet. Like, she left me a little sheet or whatever, but she didn't tell me to take it in the back. So I was taking it in the front, and now she's mad that I took the dog out in the front. And it's like, I have this idea where I believe that, if you're going to ask me to do something, ask me to do it right, leave clear, concise directions so I don't mess anything up and I don't feel bad about it. And she made me feel bad about it, like I didn't purposefully do it.
Yeah. So she got mad that you brought the dog in front because she wanted for you to brought the dog at the back.
Yeah.
And how many times have you dog sit her dog?
Her specific dog, this is the only time that I've babysat, but like her mom usually comes over because she lives in an apartment on one side of her town and her mom's on the other. And her mom usually comes over and feeds the dog if she ever has to leave for town, but her mom's also out of town too. So she asked if I could do it. So.
I see, got you. But on her list, she did not specify where you have to take the dog.
Right. It just said take the dog out X amount of times. During the day. Yeah.
So there was a communication in that one, and then she just somehow got mad.
Yeah, and I need good communication in order to have a healthy relationship with someone, And so that's just kind of my core belief. Like, it's like, if you can't tell me what you want, how you want it, how the hell am I supposed to know what you want? You know?
And this happened last week. Is that correct?
Yeah, like, the last couple of days or so.
And so you felt angry and disappointed that she was mad at you?
Yeah, I was definitely angry at first, and then I was really disappointed that I let her down. Yeah.
What else were you feeling at the moment when it happened?
Frustrated. I was feeling frustrated because, like, I kind of felt in the moment, because she went from like 0 to 60 in like this amount of time. I felt attacked, and I was just like, how are you not going to let me get a word in edgewise, you know? And like, even talking about it right now just kind of gets me frustrated. I'm like, what are you talking about, you know?
Okay. And so at that moment when this happened, what were your automatic thoughts?
Well, I was a little, my automatic thought was like, I was just a little bit shocked. I'm like thinking to myself, why the hell am I getting yelled at? Like, what did I do? I did everything he asked me to do. And I'm just sitting here going like, I'm just kind of shocked. And then I just kind of like, she got in my face a little bit, and then I decided to buck up and get in hers. And so I was like angry, and I was just like, well, I really couldn't get much of a word in edgewise. The only real thing I said to her was just like, you didn't tell me where you wanted the dog to go outside. So what do you want me to do about it? I'm sorry. You should have been more concise.
So your belief was that you could have been told exactly where she wanted to take the dog. Your belief was that you wanted her to tell exactly the dog.
Yeah, because I don't want to do anything to disrespect her relationship with the animal or disrespect her living space or anything like that.
Right. And in what percentage do you feel that you have to stand by your belief in 0 being it's okay with me, or being 100% being she should have told me that I should put the dog at the back?
Well, I think in order to maintain a healthy friendship with someone, you got to be open and honest and transparent. You got to be vulnerable. You got to be like engaged. And I mean, I think that's probably like 90% in order to like maintain a healthy relationship with someone, is to be open and honest and communicative as much as you can be. And then when you realize that you're the one that messed up, own it. Like, I think that's another thing. It's like, don't put your stuff on me because you failed to do something that you should have told me, because I don't know better, And so don't put your stuff on me when you're in the wrong. Yeah.
And I know you were saying things like you were angry, disappointed, and frustrated, and you felt attacked, and your automatic thoughts were like, shock, what did I do wrong? You said, what I did wrong, doing you a favor. So you felt frustrated and angry too. So what were your behavior at the time? Were you screaming at her back, or screaming at you? What was the situation?
Well, she definitely like raised her voice at me, which kind of shocks me, because she's actually a pretty passive person, which is why this whole thing is pretty weird to me, but surprising to me. But she started to raise her voice at me, and then I started to shut down a little bit until she said something along the lines of, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't pay attention, and you don't do that. And like, that just really upset me, because I followed her directions to the T. So then I started getting loud. And then essentially I was just like, screw this, and I left. I was like, yeah, okay, screw you, I'm gone. And I drove home. Yeah.
Did you walk away? Did you stay?
Yeah, I just left the house. I just it's like, see you later. I don't need to hear this. Like, I just did you a favor for the whole week. Coming after work, like feeding your dog. Like, it's 8 o'clock at night. I just got off at work. Then I have to go home and I have to go pack and help my parents move and all this stuff. I had to move back in with my parents now because of all these extenuating issues that I've been having lately. And it's just, honestly, it's long nights, long days. I feel myself under a lot of pressure and just everything. And I really just did not need to fight with my best friend.
And you said she's your best friend and you've been friends for a while, and then you mentioned that she's a pretty passive person, you said, right?
Yeah.
What made you think that why she just seems to be upset?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't stopped enough to like really, I want to be compassionate. And I feel horrible about the fight we had, and I feel like it was stupid, not worth it. And I never like when anything really separates us like that. And maybe she just, I don't know. I haven't really talked to her, so I don't know. So I'm just speculating. But maybe she was just really like, I noticed that she was irritated when she came home, so something had to have happened. So I'm wondering if she just had like a really bad travel day, like she was just irritated, bumping into a bunch of strangers, maybe it was like super busy at the airport. You know, I know she hit rush hour coming back home, so. Yeah.
Did you have like a argument before that something happened, something like this happened with you and her, a disagreement, or this is
You know, we really haven't had too many disagreements on things that are like this significant, I guess. You know, you could say like, yeah, this is not characteristic for us. So we don't really fight like that. We're actually pretty cool. And we just go out and we pal around, we go to bars and stuff and just chill. And you know, she's a good friend. She's a great friend. She's a great friend, and that's why it obviously. And like, not only do I have to rectify some other issues that are going on, but I've got to deal with the aftermath of this because it's going to eat me up and it's going to make me feel bad that I cannot, you know, just find some closure. This, as stupid as it sounds, over a damn dog, you know, but yeah.
So what could have happened if when she started getting mad at you and she was getting loud, and what if you stayed and try to hear her out and see where her anger was really coming from, and if she's really upset at something else other than the dog, and you could have stayed out and explain to her that you have no clue because there was not in her list or the instructions she left.
Yeah, I guess I could have just, I don't know. It's like probably the biggest fight we've ever had over something so trivial, but I guess I could have just taken the opportunity to not be quite as so defensive, try to understand that she's had a long day of traveling and been a little bit more compassionate. But definitely, like, try, if someone's sitting there yelling in my face, like, try not to get defensive and like buck up at them, even though that's like what I immediately want to do. But just try to like find a way to maybe de-escalate the situation and just try to find the positive stuff, I guess.
And do you often get mad at something? You often get mad at someone when they get mad at you. Automatically, you get mad at them, or
I mean, if it's like, if someone gets mad at me and I deserve it because I really did mess up and like I, you know, or just was completely neglectful, then yeah, I'll take it, you know. But if someone's coming at me and I didn't know better and I made a mistake without knowing it, and then you want to yell in my face, like, yeah, I'm a lot more likely to get defensive than I am to like kind of like accept it with some grace. And I mean, maybe that's the thing. Maybe I just need to. Maybe it shouldn't be like a black and white thing. Maybe I should just be able to try my best to accept it with grace in either scenario.
Yeah. Because you know how it is when we travel. there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of changes in our the schedule, and there's a lot of things that could have happened when she was traveling that could have triggered her to be irritable already or already in a bad mood, and that can just be something that just she saw that could have just made her blow up. But perhaps that could not. Perhaps that's not the real reason why she's mad.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you're right.
So, what can you do in this situation? Is there any possible scenario that you can do to make this for um, making things better than her?
I mean, I think once we just allow each other to kind of cool down a little bit, you know, I'll probably reach out to him and see if we can just talk about it. And you know, like she's a little more stubborn and hard-headed than I am a little bit, so I'm definitely gonna have to be the person to probably reach out. But you know, I think regardless of who reaches out when, you know, as long as somebody reaches out and we try to come to a conclusion about it, I think that would probably be the best bet.
Yeah. So what I can tell you is that you know how our thought processes affect our emotions, and so and then our emotions affect our behavior, so they can just go together. Okay? And so when you have the thought processes that she was, you know, mad at you for not letting the dog out in the back, you're supposed to put the dog out at the back, and you put it out in front. Then your thought was like, I'm doing you a favor, and you're not mad at me. So if the process would have something different, let's just say you could have said stuff, something like, "Oh, I did not know that that the dog should be put into the backyard where she wanted it to go to the backyard because or maybe she's just mad at me because she has a bad day. We can talk this out better."
Yeah. Yeah.
And your emotions change too with how your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then your actions, like getting mad at her too. And you just kind of like, oh, whatever, you just walk away. That affects.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
And I know the last time we spoke, you had given me some goals to kind of work on. And I appreciated those goals. They've certainly helped, especially with some of the events that have come up. And so I do appreciate that. And I didn't know if you had maybe any other takeaways.
Yeah. So what I do, we can do right now, if you would want to, we're gonna keep a diary for you. If you can't bring or make a diary for you, and whenever an incident happen again, if whenever somebody's mad at you, or an incident that just made you get mad, write down those events. How you feel about that? Like, were you angry at that time when it happened? What made you feel angry? And then your thoughts. Write down your thought process. What do you think should have been done, or what do you think should have happened? And then also write down what you did. And then from there, we are going to see what we could have done better. And also, if you can also put at the very end of you can write down things, what else can you do better to make the event, the situation less stressful. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try that, and I'll send that to you, and see if we can't make some headway. That sounds like something that actually really might help me a lot.
Yeah, so that we can look at that, and then we can work on.
Yeah. All right, perfect. That sounds great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming today. Next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Again. All right, bye.
Bye.